Welcome back, True Seeker. March Madness 2026 about to tip off in 30 minutes. And yet again, it'll be another year where if you're aware of the simple code of ABC 1 2 3, you'll be laughing at the box scores, the final scores, the rituals. Again, this knowledge, this simple knowledge of ABC 1 2 3, undeniably, I know a lot of people want to deny it, but they can't really deny it. All they can do is ignore it and act like it's not true because it is undeniable because it just goes on day after day, year after year. But yeah, this knowledge from the pro sports to the college sports, it helps you see through the ritualism. Half of it is numbers, and the other half is just narrative. It's things like Indiana winning their first football championship in Miami. Look up what Miami means. It's a tribe from the Indiana area. It starts to make sense why the Indianapolis Colts have played all their Super Bowls in Miami. Again, numbers are part of it, and narrative is part of it, and history is a big part of it. And like I said, you come join our Patreon, you get a world-class education in this. We have a really great community. We got some young, aspiring minds who no doubt are surpassing teacher because they're young and hungry and better rested than the teacher. But anyway, let's go over how we did yesterday in the world of rig sports because it was just another day in the life, another winning day. And you're like, oh, I've seen your hater channel. It's my hater channel. He posts videos, seldomly. He waits for once in the blue moon where we have a bad day. Sometimes he has to sit there for 6 months in silence. Finally have a bad day. Oh, I'm going to make a video about how dumb Gematria is. It's like, who's watching this and believing this? Think we had a bad day? Well, we had a bad day and forever. Now it's all bunk. I mean, come on. The only people this work doesn't resonate with are morons. So here, let's go over yesterday in the NBA. Now, my moron troll would say, Zach didn't get it right. The Boston Celtics didn't win by 22. They won by 21. And now realize we've called the Celtics to win by 22 exact numerous times and been correct. But they did have to shave a point off yesterday on the 22 date numerology when we called Boston the 22 city. The point is, if you took Boston to cover, they covered. They were a 12.5-point favorite. They won by 21 rather than 22. And yeah, again, also, you'll always see my critics saying, Zach will write down this or that, so he doesn't pick anything. Again, I put what I think is the best scenario on top. Any intelligent person knows there's two sides to every situation. Again, every criticism you will ever witness about me comes from dumb people. So if you resonate with those criticisms, it's probably because you're dumb. If you don't think there's at least two sides to every situation, then you don't know anything about life. Life is all about making good decisions, and you have to weigh, the scales. Okay, this has all these good things, but it has these bad things. This has all these good things. What's the better decision here? That's what we do every day. And sometimes you'll go through my notes and you'll see it doesn't look like a one-way street. There actually isn't even anything on the other side of the equation. So anyway, Boston to win and cover was the call yesterday. Boston whooped those Warriors. The Thunder and the Nets, we know 52 is very powerful with Oklahoma City. We saw this one coming a mile out that the Nets would probably end up getting their 52nd loss versus OKC, and they did. No bragging rights there. OKC, huge favorite. The Blazers and the Pacers. I thought the right call yesterday was the Pacers at plus 13.5. And why plus 13.5? Because it went with the date numerology. So many of these spreads will be determined by the date numerology. You didn't even need to tease them up. You could have just taken the Blazers with the points. But like I encourage my people, use the numbers, play a little more conservative. Sometimes it's going to take some of your winnings away, but you're going to win a lot more, and winning consistently adds up. Did the Pacers lose by 8? If you took them at plus 13.5, you won. As long as they lost by 13 or less, or if they won, you win the bet. So Pacers lose by 8, Pacers plus 13.5 is a winner. The Bulls got destroyed yesterday, and I was on the wrong side of that one. I thought the Bulls at plus 13.5, and that was. I also mentioned that you might just want to leave that one out because that's not a very great value at that. So it definitely wasn't the game of the day, but the Bulls did not get it done. Timberwolves smoked the Jazz as expected. Also a big favorite. They had the strong numbers, almost all the date numerology in their favor. And looking ahead, it made sense they win this game to set up the next one. Winner. Pelicans and Clippers, we were a hair off on. This one was tricky because the 34 could have played either way. Pelicans, they're one of those teams that if you're in my community, I advise I don't really like Clippers or Pelicans games. So it definitely wasn't our game of the day. Hawks, the Atlanta, the 15 city wins by 15, picking up their 38th win of the year. That Mavericks and 38 pattern has been lights out. There's certain patterns that when they come up, you can just bank on them. All year, that pattern's been winning. I think that pattern over the course of the season, something like 10-1, the Mavericks 38 pattern. I know it failed right around the All-Star break with a game, but it hasn't failed much. Like I said, it's coming in a very high percentage. It's always been a good number with the Mavericks. And do you remember when the Mavericks won their only game in the finals versus Boston? Go back and look. They won by 38 points the other year. Remember Boston 22? They were in the finals in 2022 playing their 22nd championship. And then the 78th season, remember there's only one team in the whole league that equals 78, Boston Celtics. We had we've hit our NBA futures a lot from the start of the season. That was an easy one that year, just like last year was an easy one. Thunder win the 79th season. They used to be the Sonics who won their only championship in 79. But again, learn this ABC 123 code. There's all kinds of tutorial videos. I've written books. There's so many videos showing how the code works. But yeah, that 38 pattern, ice cold, the Hawks get the 38th win over the Mavericks, and we call it land of the 15 city. You got to love the 15-point win. Now look at the Grizzlies versus the Nuggets. This was the big payday last night. Grizzlies 13.5-point underdog. We know that 44 can go hard on a Wednesday. There was just a lot of date numerology there. You could have taken the Grizzlies with the points. You could have teased them up to plus 16.5. Big value in a dollar parlay. Big upset. Boom. And then the Lakers, we had them back-to-back to win in Houston, and they won both in Houston back-to-back. We saw that if they won two, the Lakers would pick up their 44th win on a Wednesday over the Rockets. And that 41 pattern's been ice cold with the Lakers this year. LeBron's 41. They call him the King. King 41. LA 41. Kobe Bryant 41. I'm sure you remember what happened to Kobe at age 41. And then I'm sure you remember LeBron winning the finals exactly 41 weeks after his birthday on Father-Daughter Day in the year that Kobe and his daughter died. And don't forget, 41 is the 13th prime. And, Gianna was 13, so the story goes. And, of course, LA's 41 and 13. But, Lakers, nice little underdog last night. Not as much of an underdog as the first game. But, yeah, here's the other thing. You see how the Lakers are on the verge of their 45th win? Do you know what Bible came out when King James was 45 years old? You know which one came out? The Holy Bible, which equals 45 forwards and backwards. It came out in 1611. King James was born in 1566. He turned 45 in 1611, the year the Holy Bible came out in his name. LeBron James, career games played, 1610. He's going to hit 1611 and potentially pick up the 45th win. And who are they playing next? Miami, 45, his old team. Miami also 27. How many books are in the New Testament? 27. When LeBron won the finals on the real King James's birthday, he scored 27 points. King James, 89. The Warriors lost with 89 points on June 19th, right? Go back and look at that box score when LeBron came back from down 3-1. That paid us a nice 40-1 payout. I didn't even have a Patreon back then. I told everybody for free. I said, LeBron coming back. He's coming back on the real King James's birthday. And look at it, you guys. You see how 619, like June 19th, the 114th prime? LeBron James, 114. LeBron James, 114. 619, King James's birthday, 114th prime. King James's son, King Charles, those who fought for King Charles in the English Civil War. Cavaliers. So in the NBA yesterday, we were on the right side of 1, 2, 3, 3-1, 4-1, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2, 7-2. Not a bad day. Not the greatest day, but not a bad day. Plus a real nice upset if you took them money line. Let's see how we did in the NHL yesterday. Let's switch over to hockey, where they slapped the puck around on the cold ice. Devils versus the Rangers. What did we have here yesterday? Devils can stay on 33 losses in New York. Rangers can get 40th total loss. Wednesday's named after Mercury. That 40's been doing really well on Wednesdays, just for a free tidbit. It didn't work with the Bulls yesterday, but the Bulls was a stay. Picking up's never as good, or picking up is better than staying. Like in this case, the Rangers got the 40th total loss. The Bulls didn't stay on 40 losses. And then looking ahead, Rangers can stay on 28 wins before the Blue Jackets. Rangers can stay on 9 home wins before they host the Jets. Again, knowing these numbers, you guys, knowing these ciphers. Blue Jackets, 28. Jets, 9. And I'm showing you the same thing whenever I do these free videos. This cipher right here is the one that pays the most dividends. So, yeah, Devils, they smacked the ish out of the Rangers in New York, 6-3. And Penguins and the Hurricanes. Hurricanes can get 90-second points. Now, we won 2 times on this game because I said take the Hurricanes to win and also take the Penguins to cover, which means they can lose by a goal or they can outright win. Hurricanes pick up the 90-second points. You see how they came in on 42 wins? Penguins 42. But then they pick up the 90-second points. Pittsburgh Penguins 92. And that's called a double winner. Boom, boom. The Senators and the Capitals, those nice underdog Washington Capitals on the 70. How many times have I educated about Washington, D.C. being the 77 city? How many times have I taught about Washington, D.C., the 77 city? Again, yesterday, the 77th day of the year, in the 77 city, the Senators come in on 77 points, and they stayed parked right there. And who did the Senators play next? Who do they play next? New York Islanders. They're going to go into the Islanders game on 77 points. Isn't that nice? So, nice little underdog Capitals. Now, again, if you're the guy out there going, but you wrote or Senators can hold on. Yeah, I did. But what I mean, if you can you imagine going into or just imagine that you got the scales weighed here. Imagine being the guy who's like, well, there's way more weight on this side, but I don't know who to pick. So I'm going to leave the comment, but Zach wrote or this. So how's that a pick? You know how when you're in school, there's like some kids that are totally retarded and you look at them and you're like, what in the fuck is wrong with that person? That's what all the losers are that can't win with this knowledge. So are you one of them? I got to be fair to you guys. Are you a retard? Because those are the only people that can't win with this knowledge. Retards. Okay, let's continue. Stars and Avalanche. Underdog Stars on the road versus Colorado. Well, they could get the 43rd win, and that number's been playing this year in Colorado. Colorado, 43. They got the 43rd win yesterday. Kept the Avs on 44 wins. That number's been hot on Wednesday. You know, I mean, so anyway, here was our write-up. Again, there's pretty good narratives on both sides, but I advise you better play the Stars with the goals here to play it safe. That's a winner. It would have been more of a winner outright if you took a money line, but I thought it was a lot safer to take them with the goals. I saw a competitive game. Boom. I notice we haven't lost a game yet in hockey. The Blues and the Flames. That 31 goes hard in Calgary. It goes hard. The Blues picked up their... Hold on. Oh, they didn't quite pick up the 31st regulation loss, but it still gave us the read that the Flames could get it done. And again, you got the Flames, the underdog Flames here is the top scenario. You could have taken them with the goals. Again, top scenarios on top. And then the last game of the day, the Flyers and the Ducks. Flyers going for the 32nd win versus the Ducks. Did you see the score of that game? 3-2. Ducks 32, Flyers 32. You get a 3-2 score in the Ducks-Flyers game. Underdog Flyers win, plus 130. And again, looking a little bit more lopsided. So yeah, in hockey, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-0. So 7-2 in the NBA, 6-0 in hockey. That's 13-2. Now, here was the downside of yesterday, and I just almost wish I'd left it alone. We had somebody call in at the end of the stream and say, well, Zach, what about the NIT tournament today? And I said, well, I'd be inclined to I've never done the NIT tournament before, and I wish I didn't even mess around with it yesterday. Remember, basketball equals 22. 22 date numerology was yesterday. Normally in college basketball, if it's a 22 date and 22 can play, it's 5. The last time 22 date numerology came up was March 9th, and it just crushed. We swept college basketball that day. So I said I would be inclined to ride the 22s. That pattern did not work out in the NIT. So I got advised, if you're messing with the NIT, it might be a little bit different. I don't have a history of doing the NIT, but I know there were 5 games yesterday with 22 on the board. and it only hit in 2 out of the 5. It did hit the last one, which had the master set. Cal became 22-11. But I got to advise, stay. I don't think the NIT is something I want to mess with. Normally, that pattern crushes in college basketball. And that's the one thing. That's why I always say you never bet the house. I mean, you could win on a pattern 9 straight times, and then you're like, oh, this pattern's indestructible. And then you go out and bet the house. And then the 10th time it doesn't hit, and then you lose your house. That's why you just stay steady. You don't get too big for your britches. You play the winning patterns. Like I said, that Mavericks 38 thing. You want to get a little bit bigger with your britches. Well, that Mavericks pattern with 38's been crushing this year. Teams that you struggle with, you identify in Pelicans and Clippers games. I often struggle with Pelicans and Clippers games. Probably just don't even play them, So anyway, when people just, anytime I post a video, Zach doesn't even pick games. Why do you guys just, again, are you guys like workies? Do you work for the casinos, the bookies? If you can't win with the information I put out daily, you are a retard, period. Period. Plus, you got great people in my community making great calls. Some of them are too scared to call on the phone, but they're dropping information in the chat. There's a lot of people who are good at this. There's a lot of people who've been educated by yours truly. And if you're not one of them, you should really think about it, because this doesn't just apply to sports. It applies to the market. I gave you guys great advice with the market when we went in. Gave you great advice. You could have doubled your money by just investing in these energy stocks. There's so many ways. There's so many ways to take advantage of the rigged game, and that's what you got to learn to see, that the game is rigged. Not be like, I don't think it's rigged. What do you mean? How could they rig it? I mean, these are just things that again, retard. How could they rig it easily? These guys were paid a fortune. Even the college players are paid a fortune now, and I'm pretty sure they've been paid a fortune, the top ones, for a long time, ever since they did that movie Blue Chips 30 years ago. But, yeah, the game is rigged. And if you can't see the game's rigged, retard. You know when training day, when Denzel's driving around Ethan Hawke and he's saying, listen, you want to be over there, the traffic cop, the little sheepy guy over there, or you want to be a wolf? And I'm not saying really between wolf and sheep, but again, it's just that thing. Do you want to be it's more like, do you want to be the retard, the retard? Or do you want to be the person who actually sees what's going on in the world? Or do you want to be the retard and get played by everything? And I don't think it's rigged. How could they rig it? I mean, these questions don't even need to be answered. The refs are in on it. The coaches are in on it. The players are in on it. The technology's in on it. I mean, just how could you not see it? Indiana with a 2-star recruit becomes the first undefeated team since Indiana winning in Miami, which is named after a tribe from Indiana. I mean, give me a break. As Kurt Signetti gets his 27th career win in Miami, you know what I mean? And wins with 27 points, in case you already forgot the college football championship. So, yeah. Anyway, congrats to the winners. Haters, you can keep on hating all you want. We will be streaming again today, NBA and NHL. The March Madness notes are out there. We have some really great observations for March Madness. Shout out to the people who were burning the midnight oil and adding to last night's conversation. Again, you get on the Patreon. You pay 1 month at a time. You get every day's worth of content. If you're new here, I do recommend you get on the $20 tier, because that gets you everything. And for new people who need the live streams in the community and to hear things spelled out, yeah, if 20 is too steep, better get on the $11 tier. Then that gets you the vast majority of the content, but it doesn't get you the weekend live streams. So anyway, or if you want a taste of it, tomorrow's $5 Friday. The $5 tier gets you the Friday stream every week. So those are the 3 sports tiers. But yeah, congrats to the winners. Another good day for the community. And again, the only people not winning with this knowledge are really dumb people. And that's just a fact. All right, True Seeker. Until next time.